this is a clear sign that Joybuy is targeting Amazon as like their main competitors rather than, Temu or Shein.
The 29th of June, this AI assistant that was already live in the US, it's arriving to continental Europe, deployed in Germany, but I have very good news for our viewers. That is, it's not only in Germany.
One spoiler we can make here is that Joybuy is expanding very soon also to Italy and Spain.
It's basically Chinese cheapy products arriving into Europe. Now we could be having a big contender that wants really high quality, all the big brands on it. How dangerous this is for Amazon? What do you think? Luca, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. What about you, Pablo?
Yeah, I'm very good. We have here 3 news, super hot news of this week that I would like to comment with you. Here it is, the first news. Amazon's AI seller assistant reaches Europe. Woo! We as Europeans, we are celebrating here.
Very excited.
Yeah, Germany first. They said, the news says that the 29th of June, this AI assistant that was already live in the US and slightly so with limited features in the UK, it's arriving to continental Europe, deployed in Germany, but I have very good news for our viewers. That is, it's not only in Germany, it's also available in France and in Spain. Okay, Italy expected to come.
Be
the next.
It will come.
Still not there in the Netherlands, still not there in Poland, still not there in the smaller countries, but it will come. Okay, and what is Amazon AI assistant? So basically, this is an assistant. This is being built on Amazon Bedrock and leverage Amazon Nova and Anthropic Claude. So, and that, Luca, I have been testing that these last few days. As we have businesses and accounts in all European countries and also in the US. So we have been testing that in the US with not super big results, I must say. I mean, it was a little bit frustrating on the answers that it was giving us. I've been testing that in Germany and France these days, and I can tell you, I'm seeing something interesting there.
It's getting better. Huh? I mean, that's Amazon logic across any new features they launch. First they launch pretty silently, and then they adjust while live. I mean, I think this is one of the revolutionary approaches that Amazon brought in the e-commerce world. Not being perfect before launching, but first launching and then optimizing. So
and then I can tell you, this second version, the European version, is better, is more powerful than the American version. Wow. And I've been trying these days. So I tried that a few months ago. Yeah, assistant in the US. I've been trying the new European one. I tell you, it's more powerful. I mean, It goes much more to the point to answer questions that are not just like, okay, where can I find this on Seller Central? Now, AI assistant can do that for you. That's very good. So you can find things easier. You can know where the reports are. You can ask for kind of like questions about the ecosystem of Seller Central. That it was good already. But now this new version of the assistant is tackling questions more like, can you analyze my sales trend in the last 3 months and see if what are the builders and the trainers? Or can you analyze my inventory needs? So that's impressive. So the answers that I'm receiving now in Europe are fairly good. I want to show you some examples, Luca.
Yeah, sure. So I was just commenting, it's not only operations then, now it goes also on the strategic side of it. So helping us as sellers improving our performance. And so it's not only helping, the less experienced the sellers in, finding their way in the jungle of Seller Central, but it's actually, helping improving businesses. So that's
yes.
powerful.
So I would say, first stage it was help me with the platform. Second stage is help me with my analytics. And where it has not reached yet is on what the hell I need to do with it. So okay, now I understand better my business. I have the analysis here. I have the top trainers, and now what I do, no? And it tries though. It tries to tell you what you need to do. But what it tries to tell you is to use the typical tools of Amazon that you need to pay or you need to give more discount. So that's a little bit tricky. And this is where sellers need to play Amazon game. Yeah. Okay, let's check on that. So we are in Amazon Seller Central Germany with one of our branch account. And then first thing I can tell you, Luca, is that if you do not know that this AI assistant is here, there is no news around that are telling you that. So that's, I mean,
As
you need
expected.
to know. So sellers of the European countries, now you should know after this video. So you need to go to this top right side, and this is the old Amazon Seller Central version, and you will find here AI powered. You clicked, and there you go. You start chatting. If you are in the new Seller Central, again, you have it here on the top right, okay, Seller Assistant, and then it will open on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, sorry. Let's go to the old version. I found it more friendly for this exercise, but this is the same on both, okay? So here we are. Now we move to France, okay? Now we are France, Germany, so we are just alternating for you to see that it's available in all the countries. So basically, it already suggested you these kind of questions that I put in the group 2 that I told you before. Group 1 is help me on the ecosystem on Seller Central. Group 2 is help me with my business, analyze my business. It's already asking for or proposing you this kind of questions. So I will ask it, I will click on analyze my inventory and restock needs, for example. Okay, we'll go through. There we go. So current inventory status, your account has X products with available stock is 10, 25 does not. Key findings, out of stock items, in stock items, how many units do you have of everyone, recommendations, priority restocking, restock the ones that you don't have it. Okay, monitor low stock items. Okay, I mean, before I needed to go to download the report, check the report. Now I'm having the highlights here. Let's try another one. Analyze long-term storage fees. That's one of the things that is more painful for sellers. Like, I mean, which products do I have on these long-term storage fees? Because if you have 200 products, I mean, you are not aware of which ones are really hurting your profit and loss. Now we can with this. Analyze long-term storage fees. And now I'm using the predefined questions, but you could be typing whatever question. Okay, Luca? So that's super easy.
I think this one is the typical, win-win prompt in a way, because I mean, on the Amazon side, it helps us sellers, getting rid of slow movers, maybe, recommending us, run a price cut on this and the other product. And as you said, for sellers that have a wide portfolio, it's hard to keep track of these ASINs that are standing in Amazon FC since a long time. Despite the fact that Amazon, adds, penalties and extra costs to them, still, it is, if we're talking about just few units, I think for these features, this AI assistant would be extremely valuable.
Yeah. So I needed to change from France to Germany, as in France, we do not have that big business, but in Germany we do. Because it was telling me you don't have products that are long storage fees. Let's check on Germany.
It means also we worked pretty well, with the few products we have. We had no inventory sitting there for a long time.
So it's not such a big deal, but so we only have a few products here, but it's basically telling me the products is 4 products, and it's telling me 94% of your long-term storage fees are accumulated on this specific ASIN. So you better check on this and then fix it or destroy the inventory or whatever, because you are paying long storage. So it's pretty cool, I think. And again, a lot of predefined questions, but already on the analytical side of things. Okay. We have been checking also in the US. I'm going to move now to the US. US side, this is already the new version of Seller Central. Where can I find AI? So you can find it on the left bottom, okay? Ask Seller Assistant, or on the top right bottom, Seller Assistant. Let's go to this button, and you will quickly notice that the recommended questions here, it go more on the group 1, like the ecosystem questions, like, okay, how does FBA work? How does multi-channel fulfillment work? How does Seller Central work? How does Amazon work? Okay. I have tried to use also Canvas. Let's go to Canvas. I ask it, show me my order trend for the past 3 months. And we will see that I have not got big results. In fact, it didn't work for us. And this is a super big account that we manage in the US. Okay, well, I got this other window charging. That's what I asked it before. Analyze my sales traffic buy box trends for the last 6 months, including month-over-month view, and provide actionable insights to grow. That answer happened on the German account. Now in the US account, with the previous version of this AI assistant, look what it comes out. I apologize, but I'm unable to retrieve the comprehensive sales traffic and feature offers, trend data, blah, blah, blah. So basically, I cannot do that. So you go to reports, you download your reports, and then you cook it yourself. So
not super helpful, I would say.
Not super helpful. However, in Europe, it was giving me analysis of my sales trend, my top offenders, my drainers. So I'm not sure. Probably they are changing versions. So we hope the US Seller Central AI assistant is getting as good as what we are seeing in Germany, which is a good analytical peer, right? Okay, so the analysis is now happening. Now, what happened after is the part that still, I mean, that's, you need to be a grandmaster, and this AI assistant is not going to be.
Yeah.
Okay, I organized the analysis in Canvas. So this Canvas thing is basically different from the AI assistant. Is giving you visuals, okay? So it's giving you graphs, which is pretty cool. Okay, I've tried several times without much luck. I see we got something now. I organized the analysis in Canvas, an interactive workspace. I've created a visual Canvas showing example order trend patterns for the past 3 months. However, these are sample visualizations, Luca. Demonstrates what trends might look like. Okay. So these are sample visualizations. So
yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the graphs. I'm not that sure that this is the real trend.
That was not the sales trend. That's weird.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that's not the real sales trend we are having. So I would say I would.
Okay, so I mean, in a nutshell here, I believe those attempts of Amazon to bring AI assistant to sellers are very good. So well appreciated from sellers.
Yeah.
They are improving that. So we see that they are reaching up to this analytical part rather good in the new European version. We see the US version is still very clunky, and we haven't found anything outside of tell me where I can find this report. So the AI assistant for the US still works like that, at least for us in our experience. But in Europe, we see something better coming. So stay tuned, try it out, provide feedback, comment if you found a better usage, and we will be sharing the evolution of these tools, Luca. Okay, Luca, we go with the second piece of news here. So JD.com, the big Chinese giant, is arriving into Europe. It has already arrived, but it has super ambitious plans. So the news basically say the JD.com has arrived into Europe, opening in this UK, Germany, France, Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg. It has onboarded already 100,000 products, and it has 60 warehouses on the European continent, which, I mean, it looks like a big amount of them. So the supply network is going to probably bring some benefits for sellers and for shoppers here. But you and me, we have talked a lot about Joybuy. Yep. That is JD.com, is the name of Europe. What do you think about this landing of JD.com in Europe, Luca? What more information you have?
Well, I think, first of all, we should do one step backward, just for our friends watching this video, about who is JD.com. So JD.com is number 2 e-commerce players in China, with an annual revenue that's around from like 150 to 160 billion. So a real Chinese giant that did last year the first extremely relevant step into Europe, acquiring, first taking control of the 51%, then taking over the full electronics store chain, MediaMarkt. So the German group controlling MediaMarkt and Saturn stores in Europe was fully acquired by JD.com. And this already was a scary move, I would say, for Amazon first, but for all of the e-commerce ecosystem in Europe. In the past months, we've been talking with lots of former colleagues and friends working for big multinational corporations in Europe, and all of them were pretty excited and interested about this move of JD.com with the platform brand Joybuy in Europe. Most of them were commenting how they were getting in formal and informal contacts with many brands, starting building their network, and actually they ended up launching in March 2026 already in the first 6 marketplaces. So I think the big news we got lately this week is the fact that they officially launched also their marketplace, and they're extremely interesting news on of that. I mean, is that part of the curated marketplace? So the fact that they are selecting a bunch of Chinese and European sellers that can actually access the platform. So this is a clear sign that Joybuy is targeting Amazon as like their main competitors rather than Temu or Shein, because I read few blog posts in the past months. They were saying, okay, Joybuy.com will be the next Shein, the next Temu, despite already this solid fulfillment center network that you just mentioned, because 60 fulfillment centers is a lot across Europe. But the fact that they want to pre-filter the selection of sellers on the platform makes them makes their strategy very distant from the usual Chinese website one in Europe.
So how dangerous this is for Amazon? What do you think?
That's a great question. I mean, I think only future will tell. I think it's the very first attempt of one player playing Amazon games in one of Amazon's territories. I think Europe is an interesting, initial step. And if this works in Europe, definitely I expect these guys to do one step further on the other side of the ocean, getting into the US. For sure, Amazon has a strong foothold in Europe. In countries like Germany or Italy, is an absolute e-commerce leader, if not monopolist in some categories. So it's not going to be easy for Joybuy.com. But I have to say, the feeling I have talking with many people in the industry, working, in Amazon, in big brand companies, is that this is a serious threat.
So Amazon is scared. We can confirm.
Yeah.
We have our intel.
Yeah.
Amazon is slightly scared. Yes. Second, big brands are getting ready for it.
Yeah.
So there is hope that there will be actually one big competitor to Amazon. Yes, you mentioned one thing that I want to underline, that JD.com in China is the Amazon kind, unlike the rest of the big players that are mostly marketplace driven, or let's say third-party sellers and low price products. So JD.com is high quality, very good shopping experience. Is the Amazon of China. We can call it like that with a lot of caveats. So, and the Amazon of China is landing in Europe, which is an Amazon territory. And before it came all these kind of marketplaces models from China to Europe, starting by AliExpress, Temu, Shein. This is basically Chinese cheapy products arriving into Europe. Now we could be having a big contender that wants really high quality, all the big brands on it. And let's see how this evolves. But this can represent a big opportunity for sellers. This can be another big option, a very interesting option for shoppers. So this is going to move the board of the European e-commerce landscape a lot. So I'm really, really, really looking forward, Luca.
Yeah, I think it's very exciting. It's exciting for brands because, as you said, JD.com, so Joybuy, has experience dealing with them. So on one side is a pretty well-known territory. If these brands are able to, make the knowledge travel overseas from Asia to Europe, it's interesting for shoppers because I'm pretty sure this will start, even stronger price war between the two players for key markets and key categories. For sellers, it's an opportunity, but especially for European sellers, it's gonna be tough at first to adapt to this new platform, because even though I mean, you rightly called Joybuy the Amazon of China. It definitely will have, different logics, different, ways of dealing with it. So at first, it will not be that straightforward for European
We'll be
sellers.
paying close attention. We will be one of the first sellers on Europe to jump on it. We will learn, and then we'll be sharing all that we learn on joybuy.com here with our audience. So please follow us for more news about joybuy/jd.com.
Yeah. I mean, one spoiler we can make here is that Joybuy is expanding very soon also to Italy and Spain. We know, I mean, for like talks we had with our networks that they are hiring a head of Italy and head of Spain, so 2 positions. So we're pretty sure the expansion will follow the same expansion that Amazon went through 10
All
years ago.
sources that we have are pointing out that this is going to be big.
Yeah.
This is going to be very big. So please stay tuned with jd.com/Joybuy in Europe. Sellers, shoppers, viewers interested, we'll keep you posted. So Luca, the third news that we bring today, 1st of July, the minimis loophole that we had on Europe, that was basically the all packages coming from wherever to Europe that were worth less than 150 euros were not paying taxes, not being reviewed on customs.
No duties.
Okay?
Yeah.
That represented a massive opportunity that all these Chinese Temu, Shein, AliExpress have been taking over, because basically you were able to buy a €1 product. It took 15 days normally to arrive, but €1 product with no taxes directly. Yeah. They send it directly from China. So from 1st of July, European Union customs are going to charge directly on the price that you pay on the platform, €3 per unit, per product that you buy. So before you could buy, I did that for my kids. I go to Temu, I buy like 10, 12 different things, all €1-2, and then you make a package. Now you are going to pay €3 of custom per item.
Yeah, that's scary. I mean, scary.
12 times 3 in my case. So now I told my kids, let's go back to buy on Amazon, okay? Because probably we have it next day, and so it's much better this way. Now it's going to be much more costly to buy on Temu from China. So this entered live 1st of July. So we are seeing how it goes. I have been exploring Temu, and I'm still not seeing this apply to my payment. So either they are on the gray side now and they are testing the waters, or I'm not sure how they are paying, okay, or how I will be needing to pay. But this is applying from 1st of July, which is I believe good news. It's good news for European sellers. I mean, it's good and it's bad. No, like every new, it's good and it's bad. We will develop a bit more. But here I wanted to also mention that the European Union is even exploring a €2 extra handling fee per HS line. HS lines is the group's categories. Sorry, the product grouping categories. Okay, and they will be discussing that on autumn. So I mean, it can even become worse. So that's going to change a little bit the board on e-commerce. That's why we wanted to bring the new here. So Luca, for whom in this ecosystem this new is good, for whom it is bad, and for whom it is so-so?
That's a good question. So first of all, I think this move makes sense. Makes sense for the European Union. It's a lot of money. Makes sense to protect local sellers in a way, improve the quality of goods flowing into Europe, because this means, yes, I mean, this €3 per item, it means that extremely cheap and supposedly bad quality products are are not worth bringing into the European Union. So it is a bad news for Asian or like international sellers bringing a low priced item into Europe. This will definitely change the rules of the game on one side. On the other side, this is this duty tax will be applied on everybody. So the initial impact would be potentially price increases on some specific product categories that we used to buy normally from China. So I'm just thinking about, basic electronic supplies like, mobile phone chargers or screen protectors.
Yeah.
These are the items on which we as shoppers will feel this duty tax. I feel, on the other hand, this will be very beneficial for local European suppliers, brands that are producing and manufacturing in Europe. I think this definitely is a great news, and it gives the right to compete against international competitors.
Let me give you one figure. So, European Commission cites that in 2024, 4.6 billion below 150 euro parcels enter the European Union. 4.6 billion. Okay,
and that's a lot of money.
You
times
mentioned
3
before,
euros.
You mentioned before Asian resellers, Asian sellers. 91% of them come from China. So if we can determine who this is bad news for, it's for Chinese sellers.
Yeah,
it's for Chinese sellers. It does not mean, though, that they are not going to still be competitive, because the prices they were able to sell, if you compare a product you can find in Temu or in AliExpress versus same product or very similar versus the price in Amazon, it was almost double or triple. So, I mean, they could still compete even though you put the 3 euro tax. But I believe that's very good for European sellers, that we are here needing to comply with a lot of European legislation that is taking care that our products are not harming our citizens and shoppers. So, which is, again, I would say it's also good for shoppers. I'm sorry. I mean, yes, you are not going to be able to buy these shitty toys that I buy for my kids at one or 2 euros, but the toys that you will be buying are going to be safer now, because the barriers of entrance to non-compliant with European legislation, security, safety regulations are going to be applied. So, from a shopper's perspective, yes, less cheapy products are going to be able to be purchased. But safety-wise, compliance-wise, I believe we need fair play here, and some of these sellers were not fair playing, and the European Union was allowing that.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate. So now they have fixed this. So I truly celebrate. It's good for European sellers that we want to do things right. It's not that good for Chinese sellers, but Chinese, we do know you will still remain competitive, and we know you are very smart in this game, so you will keep playing. But now you will be playing on the same level play field now, so in a more balanced way.
Yeah, and I believe this news, if we pair it with the huge fine that Temu got in June from the European Union under the Digital Service Act, we're talking about 200 million euros. I mean, I think clearly the European Union is going in one direction. It wants to rebalance the opportunity for local suppliers, local producers, local brands to compete against Chinese ones. So again, I'm just want to reinforce your message. On the other hand, linking this with the news we just commented earlier, I think for sure Shane and Temu will not be happy about this move, because I mean, as you were saying in your examples about your kids' toys, most likely as a shopper, you would shift to different platforms when buying low-priced items. On the other hand, this doesn't impact almost at all, I would say, the expected growth of Joybuy, because as we said earlier, that's not their key business focus. As Joybuy builds, JD builds
overall, this favors qualitative business. That's what I celebrate. This favors qualitative business. This levels the play field. And the Chinese is still going to be the manufacturer of most of the things that we can buy online, and we love this to be this way. So, but they will need to compete in the same circumstances that European sellers and American sellers. So, I celebrate this. This is good news. for Europe. See you next week with the next news briefing. Luca, have a great week.
Thanks a lot. If you enjoy it, please, follow our page, comment, and we keep in touch next week.